Hi there, everyone. My name is Christian Eschbach, and this is the Golden Hour. All right. Realistically, welcome to Confessions of a Domestic Engineer. And in this particular episode, I am going to talk about the bird. So I'm going to call this Final Flight of the Bird 2021. This is my last definite ride out, especially to work, using my bird. And this is going to be a very heavy, in-depth review and discussion about the bird scooter over the course of the season. So let's start with price tag on it. By the time shipping was done, taxes were done, everything, about $850-ish Canadian. Have I gotten my money's worth out of it so far? I definitely think so. Now, personally, I need to see how many more seasons I can get out of this bird to say whether or not I totally got my money's worth. Do I think I would have spent that much in alternate transportation? No. But I also have only had it for one season. I did look at, if I were riding the bus, cumulatively, how much I would have spent for the bus, and it would have been about half. So that makes sense. I also have to factor in I did break my hand, so I couldn't ride the bird for about a month. That kind of factors in a little bit too. So here, this is just to get into the actual story of my ride here. This is the beginning of my ride. I don't show where I start from my house. I show a little bit away. But this is the worst light I usually have to sit at every morning. And this morning, it's not going to look too bad because it changes rather quickly on me. But I've gotten in the habit of hitting the pedestrian crossing light to get it to try and click over faster now, because otherwise I can be sitting there some days for 5 minutes with no traffic going the other way. And I'm really strict about following the rules. Well, especially at lights, I'm really strict at lights about following the rules. I can give a little leeway in some other spots here. As you can see here, I start slowing down and coasting up to stop signs to see what people are going to do. And I have no problem with letting people go by, as you just clearly saw and heard there. Now, my bird, it is great on smooth road, okay? Like, you can see the video here. I'm wearing the GoPro harness on my chest. It looks really good. It's really smooth here. This is all rather freshly paved road. So, of course, it's going to look good. Nice angle. So, I also try to stay to bike lanes where at all possible. And that's also one of the reasons I use the route that I do. I like smooth blacktop and flat roads. Or I mean, bike lanes, specifically. I feel safer. Who doesn't feel safer on bike lanes? I may put some music on in the background on this episode, because when I'm out riding, I've got music on. Lately, that's been when I've been listening to the albums I do for the reviews. Interesting little tidbit, that building to the right there, that is the new city greenhouse being built. I'll be interested to see what happens with that and what they do with the old one. I love the old one. That's over in Lansbury Park. That's kind of over by me as well. Right now, the bird scooter is doing 26 kilometers an hour or 16 miles per hour. Train tracks suck. You can see I move over. I've figured out where the clearest, easiest line to go through the train tracks is without getting off the bird. Realistically, I should get off the bird. This section here is horrible. It's a bike lane, but it's meant just for bikes. there's so much truck, like semi-trucks or large truck traffic, as you can see by this one coming up here, through this area, that it just destroys the roads, the potholes, the sink-ins. So I got to kind of always keep an eye to the side of me to see if there's any cars coming, so I can just kind of scoot out a bit to avoid them. Otherwise, it's nice just to have that nice kind of straight line. The bike lane does cut out here, but that is okay. Well, the officially marked line cuts out here. You can see it's marked as a shared path with the green signal. We've still got this marked as a shared path here. I got really lucky with this light today, too. It turned green as soon as I got here. And turn off there. And we're on another wonderful bike lane. You can see my shadow going on here. I'm wearing my long coat because it's a little bit cool out there. You see the double lines. I love when I have the double lines. I feel ultra safe with the double lines. I don't know why, but I do. And then, yeah. So this area is great. Now there was a noise. I'm not hearing it through the headphones as I'm listening to this on the playback, but there was a noise at the beginning there. You can hear a whoop, 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 whoop noise. And sometimes it does pick up in here. Part of that comes from my tire. There's a piece of rubber that got skinned off of it in one section, and it just kind of goes whoop, 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 whoop. I think I caught a bit of a curb. Speaking of tires, let me show you some video footage of the beating that one of them has taken, or both of them anyways in general have taken. They're not in the greatest shape. I'm not sure what happened with the one. The one I've got to full-on replace because it just got a chunk right out of the rim. I'm not quite happy about that, but you know, what are you going to do? And the rear tire, the foot brake sucks. It was put together using, I didn't realize, such cheap plastic basically, and it let go of its thing. You can see the video. I definitely will be posting. My face will disappear and the video will go up or stuff, whatever. Getting back to this though, if you can see in the shadow there, I actually use hand signals when I'm on my scooter, especially on left-hand turns. I don't always necessarily use it on stops, and I don't always use it on right-hand turns. It depends on the flow of traffic around me. But I always signal left-hand turns because it's when I'm honestly the most vulnerable. Because I am very strict about how I'm using the road. This section here also scares the shit out of me. There's not a lot of space there before the bike lane kicks back in. And even though it's shared road, cars really get a little iffy going near me too. And I don't take up a lot of space. I really do try to stay. When I've got a bike lane, I go in the middle. When I don't have a bike lane, I try and stay as close to the curb as possible. This part here, this is the greatest part of bike lane that they have done in this city with remanipulating stuff to make it safer. This used to be a death trap for bikes, and there was no good spot to go around before really to pass where the train tracks are here. They're going to be coming up in a second. And the road narrowed out so much that for the bikes to come off the little dirt path that was there, and that's all it was forever, was a dirt path, and to go in the road, if your timing was not just perfect, you were dead. You were dead, or you were waiting there forever. So they went and they finally built a nice, safe way through here. I don't know exactly how this worked out because I know these used to be CN tracks. I think they might still be CN tracks. So I don't know how that worked out with CN and planning and stuff like that. But it looks really nice. You can see all the nice details in the faux brick, and this is just a great little tunnel. Ooh.
Fucking chilly today.
And you can hear my comments on the weather. Now, you can see there that there is a little frost. I will make a mention of it again on the video itself. I don't talk too much, but I do talk to myself while I'm out there sometimes. Most of the time I've got the headphones on listening to music, which I was that day. I don't remember what I was listening to either. I think it was Epica. I was listening to. You can see the frost along the side there. So this was the first morning we had frost. I don't remember seeing any frost advisory warnings. So, let me tell you, as soon as I got home from work after shooting this and seeing frost on the ground, guess what I did? I went outside and I harvested my marijuana plant.
Whoa, whoa, whoa! What the hell happened here?
This pissed me off.
Madre de Dios.
You hear me cursing? Now, I am very cautious here. I always make sure to look both ways, and it's always about the timing. Always about the timing. I always want to make sure I got this light here, because if I don't have this light, I don't really like going through here so much, and I will stay back further on the trail and just let cars go through. This is another spot. Always have to watch heavily when I'm looking. You can't see it because I'm wearing a chest cam, but man, I'm looking to my right the entire time I'm going through.
Oh, frost. Fuck me.
Then there's me honestly noticing the frost. The rest of the time I didn't notice it so much because the area that I'm in, it's a lot of turning and I really have to pay attention to my actual controls when I'm doing. You can feel all the clicks on that side. You can see them too. I should mention that when I'm going through these road sections, I slow down quite a bit and I scoot across as fast as I can to stay out of the way. This morning was really good. I was really hoping to have some cars so people could actually see the proper interaction of what I go through riding the Burden. It's not that it's hectic. People are really good. And that's what I wanted to show. I wanted to show how good most people are. It was just a really clean shoot through that day going through this area. And that's another spot. I always have to keep my eyes to the right. And then from here, that part there, that's rough. And it's pretty clear sailing. I love watching my coat flap in the shadows. I honestly have no clue what I look like going down the road other than when I see myself in a shadow. Yeah, that's it. You can hear that clicky sound I was talking about. That click, 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 click. That's that rubber I was talking about. I definitely will say that the Bird Air, which is the model that I have, after riding it for this year, I don't know if it was built for the amount of use that I do with it. I am really disappointed in the cheapness of the plastic and how easily it broke. The foot brake that I was talking about, the part that broke there, with that breaking, the reason I was so disappointed with that is I saw how it was put together and it really is just cheap, shoddy plastic in there. Not reinforced with screws or anything that I could see, and it was easy to say how it was going to break. Oh, you're going to get to see a perfect example of me following the rules of the road with this stuff. I could have easily said, screw this shit, and gone up on the sidewalk. I had no interest in going up on the sidewalk. And yes, I'm not stopping, but the reason why is I'm down to a complete creep.
Yep. Thank you.
Guys are real cool. Do my little shoot through, get through as quick as I can. The scooter picks up pretty fast, which was nice. And I think the reason the guys were signaling as much as they were is because I think they saw that I had the camera going. And as you can see, I'm creeping the hell down again because I want to see what's going on. I want to see if there's cars up ahead, stuff like that. I want to see what's going on. Like, I'm really paying attention here as to what's going on with my surroundings. Also, I gotta drive up next to cars, stuff like that. Just zip on by, cruising along. This ride here is really, really smooth. I love this part of the ride. This is a little busier than I get. I get a lot of side traffic on this, and I do pay attention. I'm constantly, when I'm on this road in particular, a couple other ones, I'm always looking out to my left, because I got good peripheral on my left especially, to see what's behind me car-wise. And if there's a car behind me, I'll make sure I'm basically kissing the curb, and I'll wave them through. I think there is a point where that comes up later on. I'm not 100% sure. Now, this is technically a designated bike lane as well, and it turns into a proper bike lane in a moment. This was another light. I always get caught at that light. Today, no, no, this wasn't today. I'm actually overdubbing this a couple days afterwards. But the day that I'm out riding on this, no, it was nice and clear. Shot right through. It's weird. The North York Square sign, or Yorktown Square, sorry, Yorktown Square sign. That thing is actually classified as a landmark here. This light screwed me up. Okay, so this light here, I almost always hit the light perfectly. I will slow down and I will go into the actual pedestrian crossing. And I will cross over in the pedestrian crossing and get into the actual pedestrian lane. Because I do have to cross over the street. I could make a left-hand turn, but usually it's too busy to make a left-hand turn, so I prefer to do it the safest way possible for myself and the cars. So this is one of the few times I will turn into a pedestrian, and it is just to do this crossing here. And you can see I'm playing right there with the foot brake. I have to readjust it every time I use it, basically. I cut the video there as well, too, because I just wanted to check on the video, make sure everything was still filming and whatnot. You did not miss anything. It was just this brief little cut, brief little moment. And if I was smart, I'll probably put a little bit of a crossfade on it just to make it a little smoother. Maybe you won't notice it so much. You actually get to see me kick off with my leg there. I don't do that. I don't get to do that too often on the video here that you see. Tim Hortons. This is the bane of my existence. I hate Tim Hortons. Now, I didn't do a full stop there because there was no cars anywhere. That parking lot, or that drive-through, full, wrapped around. It's horrible. Environmental, psychotic nightmare. Oh my god, it disgusts me. Now, I'm going to mention, if you haven't noticed already with all the kids with backpack, I'm going through here during the early morning when kids are going to school. This is probably about 8:15, maybe 8:20 in the morning I'm going through here. Stay Puft, love the big Stay Puft. Hopefully you'll get to notice some of the cool Halloween decorations in this area too, as we're going through. There was one earlier I was laughing and chuckling at. I don't know if you pick up on the video over top of my talking. This next corner here is usually easier, but because of the construction, it throws me off, so I actually have to do a little zigzag going through here. Also, usually this is non-stop car, bumper to bumper, and I'm usually like 4 back by the time I get to the stop sign. I was amazed that it was clear sailing when I got to it. That looked a lot closer than it was, just so we're clear. And this is me using my left arm. I'm giving a signal really early so everybody can see me. I have to do this every morning. Bring my arm in just as I go to do the turn, because I can't do the turn one-handed. That's not safe. And then it's another bit of clear sailing on through here. At this point, not as much to say about the bird. So check out the cool Halloween decorations though coming up on the right. I'll try and give a little video. A lot of blow-up decorations I've noticed. And I know I have not put up video of my front yard yet. I actually did my front yard like 2 weeks ago. I've had decorations up for. Didn't know how crazy and out of control I was going to get. I'm still not done with it yet though, because I've only had the lights on once or twice, and I really got to fire them up a couple times. Yeah, just still zipping along. Not much to see here, folks. A little frost on the lawn. A couple of Halloween decorations. They're a little bit back, though, so those ones were harder to see. This is just a really nice, quiet road, which is one of the reasons why I like taking it. It's safe to use on the bird. It's not high with traffic. I wave people past me quite a bit on this. Okay, you're not going to get the best view, but check out the place on the left as you can there. There's a few cool things on there. That place, I wish I had video of it when it's all done up and everything's all blowing up and stuff like that. That lawn is just loaded with Halloween stuff. It's awesome to go by. I love watching it. Here's me having to make another left-hand turn. Arm was out there. Too bad you really couldn't see because of the shadows and whatnot. And I don't have... I should have really found a way to mount the camera so you could see it pointing back at the same time. That would have been cool. Look into it for next year. Cruising along here. I'm almost at my place of work at this point. That sun is wonderful when it starts coming up. I'm wearing sunglasses the whole time. Because I like to wear my prescription glasses specifically while I'm riding along. You know, it's nice to see things crystal clear. I love those sound effects when, you know, it sounds like I'm getting really close to between something, just gets all cool sounding. That yeah, there was a lot of trucks out, man, compared to normal.
This is the light.
Now, this is another light. I hate this light. Oh, God, I loathe getting stuck at this light. Because there's not enough room for me to swing up beside cars. Because most cars at this light are usually turning left. Maybe the odd one's going straight. Very rarely does one go right. But taking all that into consideration, very rarely do they leave me enough space to come up beside them on my scooter. So what happens is all the kids are going to school in the morning. You see there's a couple kids on the bikes over on the left. Any cars that need to make a left have to stop and wait for the kids to cross the pedestrian crossing. So if I am at least 2 to 3 cars back, if not further, there's a good possibility I don't make it through the light. I actually have to wait for yet another light to get through there. There have actually been days where I know that I'm not getting through anytime in the near future. I actually turn the bird off and walk. Start walking. I maintain my place in the car length, but I just turn the bird off instead and put my feet down on the ground because it's easier. Now, I knew the light was changing. I always watch the pedestrian light on the other side to get an idea when it's coming. And I love this bike lane here. You can see what time it is. It's 8:30. So, well, at least their time there says it's 8:30. I know it was before 8:30. At least according to my watch. My clock, phone. You know what I'm talking about. That's really fun. Now, realistically, this particular section here, this was recorded on what would be classified as private property because it is St. Clair College's property. However, it is also a publicly used roadway, especially for kids in the area going to school and stuff like that, and other people in the area. So I kind of taken a little liberty with it, and then there's, you know, I can't remember which, I think I stayed completely to the road on this trip, yeah. I love roundabouts. Now, if you notice, the roundabout is marked at 15 kilometers. I was doing full speed going through there. I don't slow down for the roundabout. My vehicle can handle it. I'm not a big car. Most cars have a tendency not to go slow enough as they're supposed to. Actually, there's a real problem on this road with people. The posted speed limit on here is actually 30 kilometers. And there's a real problem with people, and I mean shooting past me. You gotta figure the fastest I can possibly go is 27, and it barely can do that before the governor kicks in on it and says, I'm not going that fast. So for me, if someone's shooting past me, they're definitely doing over the posted speed limit of 30. Also, these desperately need to be repaved. They are in rough shape. And for the amount the school charges for parking, I really don't believe there is an excuse for these roadways to degrade to the level that they have. And this is me trying to ride while sneezing. That's fun to do. And I didn't have Kleenex or any type of facial tissue or anything on me to pull over and blow my nose, so I just kind of had to deal with it. So you may or may not hear when I hawk a couple loogies because of it. My apologies. Now, I also want to talk about St. Clair College. I went to St. Clair College back between 97 and 99. I may or may not have mentioned this before. When I went to St. Clair College, there was one building. That's it. Just one building. And it is not the building I just drove around. That's a newer building. There are something like 4 or 5 buildings just on the main campus now, and that's what it is now, is the main campus. It's, you know, and it's really kind of interesting and cool to see how much it's grown, because I'm still learning it. I haven't even been everywhere on college campus yet. I know that's sports stuff to the right. There's a field over there and some stuff like that. But I have yet to really go over there. And that's not the Sportsplex, though, because the actual Sportsplex is over on the backside, which I've already gone past. It would have been around where I did where I went through the roundabout. And then this is just me pulling up. This is me going through the outdoor, technically. But this is a bus lane, a bus-only lane. And it's a safe spot to go through where the buses can see me coming up in the morning. And then there I am getting up on the road and parking the bird. So, yeah, that's those are my exploits and expeditions on the bird this year. I've covered it a couple times. I covered it early on. I've covered it at the end. Knowing now what I know about the bird, I love the Bird Air. And I really love my bird. I love my bird. I absolutely do love my bird. But it definitely needs some improvements. It definitely needs some work. The plastic really should be changed out for even a lightweight aluminum. Something lighter. Even if it adds an extra $5 to the price tag, because let's face it, plastic for that stuff, it's cheap, but just a little more, something to make it a little more solid in a couple spots. The rims need to be more solid too. And it needs like some mini shocks to it or something like that. There are some roads, like going to St. Clair, it took a while to find just the right path, because some of the roads really, honestly, by the time I get to work, my knees were killing me, because my knees were what were the shock absorbers, and it was brutal. And this is just basic riding, you know. Anyways, folks, so yeah, that's me going over the last trip of the bird, last flight of the bird for the year. Buyer beware. I think if you live more southern, especially down in the States, you definitely will enjoy the bird more often. If you live in warmer climates, the bird is definitely better that way. I will say this. I think the battery does better with the bird when the temperature is mid 70s. I'd say mid 70s is optimum temperature for bird battery. The colder days, the battery definitely drained faster. And I've noticed between the mornings going to work and the evening coming home. Like I leave work at 3:30. So, middle of the day, it's nice and warm out. The battery going home lasted longer than my battery going to work did. I'm going to work. It's about the last few trips were between. Well, the frost on the ground indicates it's colder than it is, but it was not that cold. It was about 40 on that particular morning, maybe a little below 40. By the time I came home, it was high 60s, almost 70. So it was really, really nice out. Battery does great going home. It only drains about 75% when the weather's nice. when the weather's cold, it will use almost the full 100% to at least get to school in the morning. But anyways, yeah, that's what I'm going to say for the bird for this episode. Leave me your comments. Let me know if you have any other questions. I'll talk some more about it. I don't mind. I like talking about the bird. The bird's cool. I don't know if I would really want to pay the money again. Not for that exact same product. If they improve the product, I definitely would. I know that they make a stronger model. The stronger model is not as light, not as versatile, but it can definitely take more of a beating. I bought the Bird Air specifically because it was light, it was a little more portable, it was a little more collapsible. Anyways, comment section. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. That way you get your notifications when the videos come out. Patreon. I have not pushed this in a little bit. Please, link below. I've actually recently made some adjustments to Patreon. Otherwise, peace, love, and take care.